Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna try and sketch something and then use pastels to to paint it. This is some paper that I'll be using for a fun little art lesson slash just screen-free week activity at my kid's school in a couple weeks. So this is an opportunity to just use the paper to do something before I get there, make sure I feel comfortable with it, which is something that I would recommend to anybody who's trying to make something that they're pleased with, is trying out the materials before you just go right in to try to do something that you hope will be perfect. Okay, so I think, I don't know if maybe it'll be I've drawn a lot of frogs and mushrooms, so maybe this monster could be somewhat mushroomy. Alright, so let's think about what we want to do. So mushrooms, I mean, it's easy to do the mushroom cap as the head, so we'll just start there. It'll maybe sort of look like it's a hat. I don't want to do anything that's too overly complicated, because with the pastels I'm going to have to do kind of large strokes. Alright, and then I'll have that part of the mushroom cap sort of, seems to come. Now I'm just doing a lot of scribbly lines because to me it's not it's more important that I get a line down that I'm pleased with than it is to get the line right the first time. And this is from my imagination, so that means I won't know it's right until I see it. Okay. So since I'm trying to make it a cute mushroom monster, I don't even know if monster is the right word, but that's the word I'm going to use. We want the eyes to be bigger. I don't know about the pupils. I'll probably do some sort of bigger eyes or something. I don't know if this guy's gonna have, let's see here. It's gonna be like this. If he's gonna need some sort of a mouth, otherwise it's gonna be probably too strange. Okay, the hat is gonna be, it's a mushroom cap, so I guess I can just call it a cap. Some mushrooms have these like little thingies here. I don't know what they're called, but sort of shaped like that. It's on the stem. So just quickly, I feel like this is gonna go from monster to mushroom that is wearing a dress. Okay. Sorry, let's see. So I'm talking out loud, or thinking out loud, because I'm hoping that if I do this thinking out loud, it'll help anybody who is just watching what I'm doing and who doesn't have much of an idea for where to start, to have some sort of an idea of what my thought process is like. Okay. I wonder if do this sort of a face here. I don't like that, so I'll get rid of that. All of these pencil lines will get covered up by the pastels. Sorry if the camera's shaking, but our production budget is roughly $0, and that's just how it's gonna be. Okay, so add some more details to the hat, just because I think the cap, excuse me. Some of this will give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'll do this little thing here. We'll just do it like this, and then yeah, it's better. Okay, so then this guy, sort of like that. Yeah, I actually like the way that that looks. And then he doesn't need a nose. Okay. So the hat's gonna have these little circle, I mean, they're circles, so it's just shapes to add some texture to the mushroom. That's all. It's like that. Not 100% sure if I like how that stuff is turning out there, but okay, I'm gonna get in here and darken some stuff up a bit. Okay. Looking at those pupils, I mean, I think they're kind of silly, but it's okay. I'm not sure why he's surprised, but that's sort of what he looks like to me. Surprised mushroom guy. All right, is there anything else that we need here for this mushroom, or can we just start going to town? Well, that's what I said I'm gonna do, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this mushroom. I don't want to spend too much time overthinking this. So since I'm going in with pastels here, I'm just gonna go right into it. It's probably gonna get pretty dirty around the edges and stuff, and then I'll decide later if I'm gonna do anything to clean that up, but let's see how this goes. What color is a mushroom? Maybe the mushroom can be like blue and red, maybe? Well, obviously the eyes are gonna be white, so I'll go ahead and start with this, just that way I can blend when the time comes. Just get a little bit of white in here. And these are just Michael's, or no, excuse me, Hobby Lobby oil pastels. Nothing fancy. We're $8. So if he has a red cap, give him a red cap, and then, I don't know, like a bluish face maybe. Underneath the cap would be kind of white. And then I'll go with, I'm gonna try this blue. Okay. 2, 3 should be good. When it comes time to blend this, I'm gonna use just gonna use my finger. These are not, I guess I should read to make sure that they're not toxic. Of course, it doesn't look like it says on the box. Might have said on the packaging. Well, it doesn't say that it is toxic. So definitely, if you're doing this kind of thing at home, you should read that information and make sure that you're being safe using whatever materials you're using. Okay. Alright, we need a little bit more of that red. Is this the right? I think this is the right red. Let's hope so. Okay, yeah. It's going in here. Kind of lightly getting it in here. Because I don't want to get it too dark too fast. Let me see. As I blend it how it looks. Blue. Somehow got a little blue on my finger. That's okay. We're not doing this for anybody but ourselves, so any mistakes that happen, we can just roll with them and figure out a way to make them work for ourselves and just be happy and enjoy the process. Obviously, when you're doing art for somebody who's paying you, you need to meet their expectations, or at least do your best to do so. But sometimes when I'm making art, I don't even know what my expectations are until I'm finished, which might not be the best way to go, but that's the way I do it sometimes. Okay, so alright, we're gonna do maybe a light blue down here. See how that looks. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so in the kind of like depressions, is what I'll call them. Just the parts of this little thing right here that curve down and aren't as much in the light. It'll be the darkest. And then I'll add a little bit of something. Maybe we'll add some, I don't know what brown's gonna do that. Or call this, they just call it brown. So is that a little bit shade? Shadow, excuse me. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna start this here. this isn't like my first choice of medium if I'm working on things, so I don't have as much experience with this as like basically any other kind of painting, but do like them for a lot of reasons. I mean, you can paint by just opening up a box and not having to mix anything or fool around with extra stuff. Okay, so this, we're gonna do the stem the same color as the cap, just because it's, I think, gonna look nicer this way. It'll allow it'll create a good contrast between the upper cap, this little, it's kind of like a mustache, and the base, the mushroom's base. Okay. I think there's like a 0% chance anyone is on the chat. If someone is on the chat, I apologize, because there's no way I can. My camera is in a position such that I cannot see the chat or my screen, really. And I figured it was more important to be able to do this and let people see the work than it was for me to be able to chat about it. Okay. Now I'm gonna use a darker blue here and see how that turns out. Alright. So use this blue here to kind of create it's creating a hard edge, but I'm blend it a bit. Let's see how it turns out. Okay. The more I work on this, the more I'm going to start wishing I had added things. So I'll do my best to just keep this as focused as possible on what I had intended initially. Otherwise, I'll end up doing too much and all will be lost. So here's the white of the under cap. So I don't know, it kind of looks scared now. Which, not so bad. But I don't know, he's a scared monster. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a bad thing. Monsters can be scared, I guess. There's a really intimidating kid that's had enough of monsters. Maybe that would scare monsters off. that's a subject for a different time. Oh, okay. All right. So continue using this brown to create a little bit of shadow under the cap to try to make the eyes stand out a bit more. Let's see. Obviously, I can't see what this looks like on anybody else's screen, but the way that it's turning out here, I'm pretty happy with it. Making the eyes a little bit smaller, or at least appearing a little bit smaller so they look like they're a little bit farther behind his little cap there. Start pulling some of this down a bit more to give it a bit more interesting shape than it has currently. I need some more white in here. So this white is, I'm using it to indicate that's where the light is hitting this the most, which is what and then the darker spots, that's where the light is hitting it the least. Know this stuff. Apologize for the extra information, but if you don't, it's an opportunity to learn a little something. Okay. So, let's see, the mushroom monster. Try and blend that a little bit. It's probably just going to be easier rather than trying to blend that to, is this the right blend? I'm going to find out. To just go ahead and use the pastel to color those in more fully. And probably add another one right here. Which is great since these are opaque. Which means you can't see through it, right? Okay, I'm gonna use some black because this is an illustration more than like a painting. We'll see how that does. So far, so good. That. Okay. All right. So, mushroom monster guy is looking okay. What do we need still? He probably needs to be on the ground, and because he's a mushroom, sort of in the dirt. I'm looking to see, we got ochre here. And I will try to get a little bit, I'm not gonna fill up the whole page because once I get to the edges, it's gonna start becoming difficult. To blend it without without needing to tape it down or something. Just not gonna do it because I don't wanna. All right, so you can see it's getting a little bit dirty, but that's okay. All right, so this little mushroom guy. The thought is that the light source is coming this direction, somewhat, at least. Oh, head. That's too dark for sure. So add a little bit more red right here. Should at least help with that a little bit, and then say some white here, some white here to kind of help bring that stuff forward a bit. Get this a little bit more red in here. Okay, and now where it's touching the ground, get a bit darker. I'm using this brown because it is similar to the color burnt sienna, which is what I would use for, not all the time, but often for, to just keep things simple for shadows. I will just use burnt sienna. Almost never use black. Unless I really, really need it to be dark. I won't usually use black. Alright. So he's on the ground. What other things do you think this mushroom would be near? That's a good question, Brandon. Glad you asked yourself. Alright, so I'm moving back a little bit so I can take a look at this guy. He's got his little blue mustache. I kind of like the way that over here it softens up, like it's he just quickly kind of moved his head to the side, and since he moved this way, the mustache, let's just say it kind of swished the other direction, like this part came down. I like also that this sort of looks like a dress. The eyes, I think, turned out pretty good. This in here probably needs a little bit more work, so I'll go ahead and get this done so the eyes and everything look like they're actually connected. that, I think in the back of the cap needs to come down a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so looking at this guy now, I think I think this is about what we're gonna get out of him. What kind of time do we have here? We've got 31 minutes. How about something green in the background? I think. Let's do that. I think the brighter the green, probably the better, but you know, blades of grass are not that complex, and you can easily fake that, so that's what I'm going to do here. Excuse me. I'm going to put this... Now, I can't, unfortunately, draw through this, but if I do it like this, here, hopefully we can just do that. And of course, part of me wants to just draw a flower and then do all this other 10 million additional things, but if you keep on working on something that, like this for too long, eventually you're just gonna ruin it. So, well, that was not supposed to be on that side. Oh well. Try and give the grass just a little bit of depth. His or her, it's their, I'm not sure, it's a mushroom, so okay, bring that up just a bit more. Got to be careful to kind of try to hold the paper in place, because if you don't, and you push too hard, you could actually end up bending it. It could be a disaster. Alright, so multiple ways to go about doing this, but I kind of want to give it this mustachy area a little bit more of a bushy-ish type feel, and I also want it to look light hitting in different spots. So like that, and then over here is where it's going to be the brightest for sure. Back away from this guy. Oh. Okay, so I'll try and clean up whatever errant pencil marks we have over here. Not that that sort of thing is essential, but why not? Okay. And oh, we got some in here. Where's that? Pastel. A little pastel there. Okay, and there we go. Got a little mushroom guy. He's next to some grass. I'm not sure what he's scared of, but ultimately it doesn't really matter that much. So, for anybody who has done one that you like, you know, you should sign it, right? Bam. Hooray! It's done. Okay, so anyone who was able to watch with me today, or anyone who has watched this, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks a lot.